All right. Hello, everyone. If you all could please mute your microphones, please mute your mics. That would be helpful because we have a lot of folks who are joining this Zoom space tonight. So I just want to make sure that we have an opportunity to hear everything that's going down. Let me be very clear to you all that this Zoom is being recorded. Man, is there a place where I can get better lighting? Maybe if I could have held it up or something like that. All right, this Zoom is being recorded. So if folks are not wanting their visual to be on here and or for whatever reason, if you're not wanting your audio to be recorded, I have to record this because there were some people who could not make it tonight, and I am going to have to share this with them after the fact. Well, let me start by saying hello to everyone. Super grateful and thankful for you all's willingness to be interns who are going to work across this great city of Chicago to serve and support kids with an emphasis on the south and west sides of our city, because a lot of the schools that traditionally have been disinvested and or have not had equitable investment find themselves on the south and west sides, particularly with Black and brown kids. The placements this year, interestingly, are not exclusively on the south and west sides, but traditionally we do find that most of our placements are on those two sides of the city. So once more, just super grateful because what I've seen over the last this would be 4 years of having Adler interns serve in schools, that you all are such a value add to these schools. The schools fall in love with Adler interns, the kids fall in love with Adler interns. So I'm super excited for what's to come through our work together and through our partnership this school year. By the way, because I didn't say this yet, I am Damian Howard. I am the Director of Education Initiatives for an organization called Together Chicago. I never know exactly what it is that Adler puts on the online portal as you all are signing up for placements, or they're letting you know where your placements might be. Therefore, I just thought it might be helpful for me to start off with a succinct introduction of myself and the company that I work with here locally. As you all see, Together Chicago basically just has one aspiration for us to seek and see reduction of violence here in the city of Chicago. What I appreciate about Together Chicago is the two founders, they said, man, if we're going to adequately be about violence reduction in the city, we can't just have violence reduction strategies. We have to have initiatives and strategies that are deployed in the economic development sector, violence reduction, gospel justice, faith mobilization. They're big on mobilizing the church to be a part of their work as well. And I am the guy who spearheads the education work. A little bit more background on me. Married for about 15 years. Education experience is about 15 years. My ministry experience is about 15 years. Everything kind of started right around the time when I graduated from the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana, undergrad, special education. So yeah, just kind of who I am, how I'm wired, and how I'm woven, again, just speaks to my excitement for having more interns, graduate level interns especially, who are going to be pushing into schools and helping young people in those schools. So again, Together Chicago has these 5 focus areas. You all are going to be working with me, helping to bring life to and really live into what we're trying to see with the education sector of our work. And if we would just kind of succinctly state what the education sector is all about, under my leadership, man, we just want to see a multiplication of nurturing figures who are sharing life and making a positive impact in the lives of kids. And what do we call those nurturing figures? Well, mentors or mentorship is nomenclature that I typically use when we talk about those nurturing figures that we're training up, that we're supporting to share life with kids. So the next thing that I want to share with you all that is in alignment with mentorship training is a link that I am about to put in the chat. I'm going to be dropping some links in the chat. Some of the things that I dropped in the chat, I'm going to be asking you all to do something with it. Other things here would just be FYI for you all. All right, so the link that I just dropped in the chat gives you all access to our mentorship training that we have. And again, just for the sake of an introductory meeting, I am going to try here to expose you all a little bit to what the training platform is all about. So first and foremost, with the training that I am sharing with you all right now, at the center of it is a field of work called social and emotional learning. This is another reason why particularly I have really appreciated a partnership with Adler School of Professional Psychology, based on the fact that a lot of you all already have a bent and or an orientation towards social and emotional development of people. A lot of you, as I even look at the list of majors and fields of study, that is, in alignment with what many of you are interested in some way, shape, or form. So I just think it's just such a cool partnership that SEL is something that I care deeply about. Leveraging SEL to really expand and increase mentorship within schools is what I offer training for. And again, I just found Adler students finding great alignment with this work, with what you all care about. So what you all will see on on this particular course, which is our school year 21-22 social emotional learning mentoring course, what you will see as a part of this course, just a couple of things I want to call out. Firstly, we have a monthly adult social and emotional learning lesson and some training videos. The intent behind this monthly lesson is a sense of us as adults doing what they tell us to do every time we take a trip on the airplane. They say, first, put the oxygen mask on yourself. If we're going to try to position ourselves to care and support kids in the way that this work is asking, this adult SEL lesson is first saying, okay, like I need you to know how this particular theme for this month is a value add to you. What are some activities that you or we as adults can embrace and that we could live into for the sake of building up our own social and emotional competencies? And as we do that work, then going to the youth lessons and having our marching orders as far as what mentorship could look like in each of our schools. I am blitzing through this work. It's just like this dude is going so fast. He's talking so fast. Mute your mics, please, if you can. And I say that to say, hey, at any time, if we feel like we need to review these things, go back over it, I'm always available. And by the way, what you all will see in your SJP packet is that there has to be a commitment that you get 1 hour of supervision every month. The unique thing about the Together Chicago partnership is that you have layers of supervisors. You all are going to have a site supervisor, and you all also have me. The reason why, or let me say it, the way that I show up is to provide supervision on just kind of like an oversight level, whereby all of you all as interns can come together every month, one, so that I can expose you all to this training here, this mentorship training. But more importantly, I want you all to have that regular space where you have access to me to ask any questions, to express any grievances, whatever it may be. So we're going to do that a couple of times a month. One of the meetings is going to be an hour, and we're going to focus on this SEL mentoring curriculum. And then we're going to also have to find time to have a separate 30-minute meeting. Part of the reason why I have to meet with you all for 90 minutes myself is it's very unrealistic to think that the administrators or school teachers are going to be able to find a designated additional 4 hours out of their month for oversight and for supervision, which is required of us for you. And that is the reason why I make myself available in this way. And as well, I just have a unique perspective because I'm not just working with one school, I'm working with interns who are literally in 20 plus schools across the city of Chicago. What I have not shown you yet are mentoring videos that you all have the ability to use to support mentoring practices in the schools that you all are placed in. Once more, once we start our training, whereby I'm going to actually show you all how to actually use this course and use this material, all of these things will become a lot more illuminated in your minds and more clear to each of you all. But right now, I'm just trying to give you an overview of the tools and assets that are available for you all for success with this internship. So as you all will see right here, our work is broken up into grade clusters. starting with pre-K through second grade, all the way through high school grades. Right now, this reads grades 9 through 10. We're just going to have a separate course that's focusing on all of high schools. And if you would click on any of these grade clusters, what you will see is that you have a weekly lesson that you can utilize once more to go into your school and help to implement social and emotional learning mentoring services right there in your school. I know I've said it multiple times, but I keep feeling an impulse to say it just because I know some of you all are like, what the heck is he talking about? Just trust that when we get to that point whereby we are asking you all to implement social and emotional learning practices, again, I'm going to go a lot slower, and we're actually going to go into the lessons, do some of the lessons together for the sake of you all having greater comfort with this curriculum. Another thing I just want to admit and say right now is that some schools don't desire for you all to go in and support social and emotional learning and or implement mentoring practices in the way that I'm showing you here. That's perfectly fine. However, this is an asset that you all are going to be empowered with. And again, what I found is a lot of schools do appreciate this extra layer of support that I'm giving you for you all to go in and have a focus and intentionality to what your mentoring could look like in the schools that you're serving. Let me pause there to see what comments or questions people may have as you all are thinking of what comments or questions. And I'm familiar with working with Adler interns, graduate level interns. So I know that there are comments or questions, but as you all are preparing to say that, let me say this. I know that you all did not have opportunity on this call to do many introductions. I selfishly took you all's time to introduce yourself with blabbering and talking about all of the stuff that I want to talk about, which was so rude of me. But I do believe that over the course of this school year, right, all the way through almost the end of April, we'll have opportunity and we'll have time for folks to kind of come in here, talk a little bit about what you're experiencing in your internship, talk a little bit about whatever you want to talk about. So please don't feel slighted. This is literally meant to be a quick introduction to the Together Chicago internship for Adler interns. We'll have more time to bring more color and more context to this as we continue on. However, that being said, with what I shared thus far, what comments or questions do you all have? All right, the next thing I'm going to share with you all, and this is one of those things that's going to require you to do some stuff, is the volunteer, is a link for volunteerism within CPS schools. So please, you all, follow my lead as I talk you all through this link that I just sent. Just in case if I wasn't clear, everybody please click the link that I just put in the chat. All right, English or Espanol, whichever one is your preference. For me, English. I want everybody please to click new volunteer. Now, this volunteer portal is weird, and some of you all might end up having to come on here twice because I am going to give you all directions to sign up as a level 2 volunteer, which will accelerate the pace by which you are able to go into the schools. But many of the schools might ask you all to actually go back into this portal and fill out the information to become a level 1 volunteer. The reason I'm asking you to become a level 2 volunteer is, again, it's just a lot cleaner. They don't require as much, and all of the background check work is online. So for those schools that's requiring for you to become a level 1 volunteer, you all can start that process once you are placed. My direction and my job right now is to get your placement going as soon as we possibly can. Because I just know how Adler works. They're wanting you all to make sure that you get in your placements. And what I've seen in the past, actually, you all, is the first 1 or 2 weeks are just observation anyway. You're not doing hands-on work. You're just really trying to understand the environment, get acclimated to the environment, meet some of the kids, meet some of the staff that you will be working with. So as such, again, there isn't as much of a requirement for you to have the more extensive check that's going to potentially require fingerprinting and things of that nature. So for right now, again, follow my directions to fill this form out to become a level 2 volunteer. Not just for the people who are here with me live, but also those of you all who are watching playback. What I'm saying right now, watching this via playback, what I'm saying right now is of the utmost importance for you all to fill this out and the particulars that I'm going to share. So maybe some of you all already started doing this. It's all good, but just please, 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 right now, follow me in exactly what I'm going to ask of you all. So if you scroll down and look for the section that reads schools, organizations to volunteer, under volunteer type, select level 2. And once you all finish this, was that a question? All right, once you all finish this, if somebody wants to just kind of come back in and do your own research on just kind of the distinctives between level 1 and level 2 volunteer, you can just click this link. And matter of fact, y'all can click the link right now. I'm going to keep going through this. You won't have time to just look at it because I need y'all to follow me. But click that link and you just saw that it's going to open up as a separate tab. So if you all were interested, you can read up on the distinction between level 1 and level 2 volunteer. Again, since you all are starting basically as classroom observers, that affords you an opportunity to get in there and get your internship started as a level 2 volunteer. Excuse me. Now, school organization. If you all were to search here under short name, let me see. It's Hawthorne is one that I'm not even sure. Yeah, there it is. Hawthorne. All right. If you are Hawthorne, you type Hawthorne and you see that it came up. I did see some people here who have Doolittle. Look at it. It's right there. So find your school and then hit select this school. Let me see, what are some of the other things that I want to bring to your attention? Of course, right here, email, alternate email, password, whatever you want, whatever you want. Okay. Are you a CPS employee? No. Are you volunteering to coach? No. I am interested in volunteering and mentoring. Let's see if you can do mentoring. Yeah, mentoring and tutoring. You know what? Do mentoring, tutoring, and classroom support. We're going to be comprehensive there because these, again, are the 3 distinct areas that I typically see schools asking for you all service. Let me say this just because I see it here. Some of you all schools are actually desiring, particularly since you all serve 8 to 10 hours. And for those of you all who are going to serve your 8 to 10 hours all in one day, that might mean that you have some ability to stay and serve their after school programs. Following this call, I am going to show you all how to get connected to the supervisors at your sites. That's part of the conversation that you all need to be having with them. One of the earliest things that I'm going to challenge you all to do is to fill out the grid that I'm going to show you in a moment so I can know exactly what you're doing and when you're doing it in your school. We'll get to that. For right now, I just wanted to really kind of call out that after school programming, if you all have availability, could be an option as well. Are you volunteering for a specific day or overnight trip? No. Is there a teacher sponsoring? No. Languages, put that languages, education level, emergency contact. All right, let's go down to emergency contact. It doesn't matter. Emergency contact, that's up to you. All right, reference number 1, one of your references, everybody can just put me, 03471. And guess what? Guess who you put for reference number 2? Whoever you want. It literally does not matter. Go ahead, whoever you want for reference number 2. For reference number 1, you all can put my name. Definitely unmute and or hit the chat if you have a question. Otherwise, I need everybody to go through, fill out this information. And at the bottom, when you're done, hit submit. The distinctives that I wanted you all to pay attention to, we already went through that. If you all can like hit the chat and write done or tell me, unmute and tell me done, something along those lines, when you all are done with this, that'd be helpful.
I have a question / statement. I don't have a school assignment. I don't know if I'm supposed to, actually.
Alexis, what's your major?
I'm a third year PhD student.
So are you going to be doing research with me?
Yes.
Perfect. So Alexis, I just knew I was saying all PsyDs and PhD students and things of that nature. And I didn't know who was going to be the research assistant, but now I know. So thank you, Alexis, just for following me up until this point, because I just wasn't clear. You probably put it in an email, but as you can see here, we got 20 plus people and I'm going to have 60 plus. So I was just replying to those emails quickly. So my apologies for that. But what I will, matter of fact, Alexis, while everybody else is filling stuff out, when do you want to meet again?
I'm free Monday, like this upcoming Monday, if you're free. I can meet.
Here's my availability here.
What's that after the purple one? At 11? Are you free at 11?
Yeah.
I can meet at 11.
It shouldn't take an hour. I'm going to block it off just in case though. Okay. Lloyd is your last name?
Yes.
It's so exciting to meet you, Alexis. So by the way, you all, Alexis is going to be in touch with many of you all so that we could just make sure that we're assessing the efficacy and the impact of programming in schools. So man, Alexis, really, like, you and I collaborating, like literally have an opportunity to take this work to the next level. So I'm just super excited to just be connected with you. And yeah, I'll just make sure I send a calendar invite and all of that stuff. Okay. All right. What'd you say?
I said it sounds good.
Cool. All right. Wow.
Hey, Damon, I have a quick question.
Yeah. Hey, Ray.
Hello.
Hey.
My site, my school doesn't pop up when I go to add a school / organization. Is there maybe a different name?
It's maybe a different name, or it's maybe a different type of school that isn't in the CPS system. So let's start with this. Tell me what your school is.
It is Donahue Elementary School.
All right, Donahue is a University of Chicago charter school. Yet and still, University of Chicago charter schools should be within the system. Alexis, you're going to probably get like 1 or 2 emails from me. I'm sorry about that because I got to put the Zoom in there. Just bear with me. Ray, I am going to the volunteer portal right now so I can try to see what you need to type in. Awesome. Did you try to type in University of Chicago? Nope. Yeah, let me see. Nope. School organization name, University of Chicago type organization. No.
And Damien, I'm having the same problem trying to find another University of Chicago charter school, NKO. That one also is not Yeah, that one's not popping up either.
All right, give me, let's see. I'm not screen sharing anymore, am I?
No.
Thank you.
You're good.
I think I'm like experiencing a similar issue as well, but I don't know if it's like a charter school.
What's your school?
Chicago Hope Academy.
Okay.
I'm seeing Chicago Academy Elementary School and Chicago Academy High School. I don't know if it's like the same thing.
And did you try to type just Hope?
Let me try that. I think I did. Give me 1 second.
I'm also at Chicago Hope Academy and there's Hope High School or Hope Learning Academy. I was going to ask which of those.
It's definitely not Hope Learning Academy. That is a pre-K to 5 school. I'm trying to see. Hope College. No, that's the wrong Hope. Bear with me. if your school, and if you see somebody else type the name of your school, you don't have to type it again. But can you all use the chat just to let me know the schools, like University of Chicago schools? Just put Donahue, put NKO. Somebody type in Chicago Hope Academy for me, because I'm just going to have to keep record of that and make sure that I'm following up with all of those schools to see their background check process. Was that as clear? Because I can't see what you all are typing right now. Was I clear with what I just asked? Somebody help me, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so no, I will reach out to those principals. Y'all, please don't fret, don't worry. We're gonna get you going. I'm gonna be able to get that clarification, I suspect, very soon. What I will tell you all is this: for placements that I've had in some charter schools last year, they don't have an official background check process. So for whatever reason, they just didn't have their students needing that. Again, just give me an opportunity to check for NKO, Chicago Hope Academy. I also heard Donahue, right? Any other schools? Did I miss any? Is it just those three? All right. Whoever had their hand raised, thank you, somebody, for bringing that to my attention that somebody had their hand raised. Let me know what you need. I'm going to address the ID thing in a moment, you all. Let me say this. If I forget to address the ID thing, maybe I'm going to make this my next thing. But if I forget, if the next thing I'll talk about isn't IDs, y'all be like, hey, Damien, slow down. Talk about IDs, and I got you. But I just want to make sure that NKO should, thank you for all of the dones as well. NKO, Chicago Academy, and Donahue are the only schools that are not popping up. Other than that, we seem to be good. Y'all, I am a man of my word. So let's talk about these IDs. I know especially for those of you all who are watching this via playback, I am sharing a lot of links and having folks to go to those links. Everybody, please click on the link that I just now sent you as well. For those of you all who are watching this via playback, I certainly will make the links available. All right. What you all have here is, you ain't got to do nothing with this right now, but this is access to supervisors in you all sites. If you are looking at this and you don't see, and I'm sorry, y'all, these schools probably should be alphabetized. The person I had doing this didn't alphabetize them. It is what it is. It's not that many schools. So just keep scrolling down and you should get to yours. But if for whatever reason, the school that you have isn't listed here, and then when you look over, if if it's not super clear, the name of your site supervisors with that site, their emails, just something is looking askew, let me know. But what I was going to say about IDs, and I want to make sure that I write myself a note on this, is that eventually those IDs that you all were just prompted to send in, you're not going to send those to me. You're going to send those to these people. But in my follow-up email that I send to all of you all watching here with me right now, and or the people who are going to watch via playback, I'm going to literally give you language to send in. And I have to do that because there are some particulars that we're going to be needing from you all site supervisors. And one of the things that we're going to be asking of them is for them to go in and approve you all as level 2 volunteers right away, and to also let you know if they want you to start the process to become a level 1 volunteer. So if that was not clear, let me say it again. The ID piece, I'm going to be sending you all an email following this call that we're having right now. It's going to be a part of my follow-up to you all. I can't promise I'm going to send it tonight because I don't think I feel like doing anything after I have this meeting tonight. But definitely before Monday, I'll send you all a follow-up email probably sometime tomorrow, because I know some of you all probably are going to want to reach out to your people over the weekend. When I send you that email, I'm going to give you some specific language that I want you to put in the body of an email to your site supervisors. Additionally, I am going to ask you to attach your ID. That's where you're going to put your ID. You're not going to give it to me. You're going to put it in that email to your site supervisors. I see something in the chat, so I just wanted to make sure that I'm not missing anything.
I
All
have
right.
a quick question, if you don't
Yeah.
mind.
Ashley,
So-
hi.
Yes, hello. So I am from Texas and I lost my ID and I ordered one a few months ago and it never came in. I have a passport. Does that work?
Ashley, I suspect that that will not be a problem. However, I don't know. So
Okay.
what we're going to do, and I don't know if I'm going to ask everybody to do this, Ashley, because I just don't want a bunch of emails, but I do want you to copy me on whatever you're sending to administration, because what that's going to do is just remind me that you have a unique situation with the passport. And again, I don't suspect that that's going to be a problem, but I just want to make sure that I'm watching and monitoring that closely. And the reason I want to watch it closely, Ashley, is it's really just one reason. I want to make sure that you're not spending too much time with this intern placement if ultimately it doesn't work out. I want to work with you to figure this out as soon as possible, that if there needs to be a shift to take place, we do that as soon as possible.
Okay, no problem. And I'm sure if anything, I could just get a license within Illinois. But I wasn't sure if I was going to do that or not yet.
Okay.
So.
I'm just hoping that you don't need to do all of that. I'm really hoping such.
Me too.
And that's why I'm just like, go ahead and copy me, and I am going to work with you to the extent that I can do whatever I can. I'll do it. All right. Now, you all, this is the meeting of links. All right. If you didn't think you were going to do anything else, you should have been prepared for all of these links. Click the next link, please. The stars at night, big and bright. All right. Anyway, so let me go ahead and put some black lines right there. Chris Rock had this video called Head of State, a movie, and at one point he was campaigning in Texas, and that's the song that he kicked it off with in Texas. So that was my salute to Ashley and her home state. Anyway, so what you all are going to do on this spreadsheet here, I cracked myself up, by the way, is you all, once you start getting clarity pertaining to your placement, this is going to be in your follow-up email. Okay, don't feel like you got to get all of this right now. You're going to have this playback video to go back to. And in addition to that, when I send you all a follow-up email, I'll just make this stuff super clear, as I'm attempting actually to do now. So let's say, for instance, that this was Ashley putting her name on line 36. Ashley's going to put her name. She's going to put just, I know I've asked for this before. Just put it again, please. Email, number. She's going to put her school. Now, this column here, column E, is a column that is very important. And I need this figured out as soon as possible. They were a little, I guess this is fine. So I literally just need to know when you are in the school. When are you in the school? Bear with me. And then column G, at the semester 2, if it changes, you got to let us know. When are you in the school? See, now this is what I was just kind of, something about COVID-19. Okay. What I'm missing from this grid that I'm going to want to see once you all start getting clarity on you all's placement is, yes, I want to know when you're in the school, but I need to also know what you're doing when you are in the school. And I'm trying to look back at previous years, but it just doesn't look, that's because he's looking at the wrong column. Let me see. But that's semester 2 if it changes. All right, so I'm just gonna have to put some new headings here, because as you all see here, check it out, Tanner Creel. Tanner was like an MVP for this. Look what he put. He's like, Damien, if you look at this grid, first, you know that I'm there Friday 10 to 4. But then even if you would look at this, you know where I am when I'm in the school. I'm with Miss Evans, 4th grade, Miss L, 1st grade, doing student mentoring. Tanner was okay. Let me see. I like this even better. This is what I want to see. Who is this? Maddie? Maddie is the new MVP. Because if you look at Maddie's, it tells me her class, grade, the time, and what she's doing. Tier 1 classroom management means that she's helping with the whole class. She's like, Damien, I know when I'm there, I'm not supposed to have a break, but I'm taking me a break. I don't know if she's taking a smoke break. I don't know if she was taking a food break. She had a break. It is what it is. All right. Then she, threw the square away at 11:15. I am so joking. If y'all know Maddie, that was a joke. But anyway, 11:15 to 1 o'clock, she was back to tier 1 and tier 2, emotion regulation, conflict management. Like, these are the type of notes that I need, you all. I like, take it as if a supervisor, that's my role. I'm a supervisor as a part of this program. You're not going to see me every day. You might not ever see me at your site. But in the instance, if I needed to come to a site and I needed to do some observation, is Alexa still here? Did she drop off because this meeting wasn't for her? But Alexa,
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Perfect. So Alexis, this part of the grid becomes important for you as well, because if there was ever a time as it pertains to just kind of your oversight and you needing to know where people are, these are the type of notes that we need. Again, I am not going to overstate this part right now, because when I send you all the emails and when I just kind of look back at the column headings, I'll just make sure that that part is clear. But I just want you all to be able to see that, like, this is the level of clarity that we're going to need to have. And I want this as soon as possible. This goes back to what I was saying earlier. Whereas, yes, you give me your times that you are in the school, and I'm going to have another column where if it changes when the semester starts, we need to know your new times so that we can get ahead of that and the teachers can know. But even more importantly, who was that better example? Was it Maddie, the real MVP? Who are you with? Grade, time, or what you're doing. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So we're going to need that for each of you all spelled out just like that. The notes are going to be in the email, follow-up email to you all. Clarification will be there. But for right now, what questions might people have? And just to anticipate where I'm going next, I'm going to talk to you all about what a day in a school typically looks like. So if that's your question, you can hold off because I'm about to get to that. All right, let me just explain again, because maybe I didn't make this part clear. Y'all don't have to do nothing on this right now. But when you start hearing me drill, like, and I'm gonna hit this because this is like the first thing I need from you all. I need you all to fill out that, what we gonna call this, the Adler intern placement sheet. I just got unique, quirky names, whatever name come to mind, I just put it on the spreadsheet because I need to capture this information. And when I say that, this is the information that I'm needing to know. When are you in that school? And then when you're in that school, what are you doing? All right. If there are no comments or questions, let me talk about what a...
Hey, Damien, I just have one question for you. So
Maeve,
I'm
so sorry, I didn't see your hand raised. Let's get into it, Maeve. What's up?
My school wasn't listed on the CPS portal. Do you still want us to go ahead and submit the application, even though we don't have a school in there for now, or should we just hold off on submitting it?
Maeve, that was a great question. I'm sorry that I didn't clarify automatically. You do not submit that form if you don't see your school. Cool?
Yes, thank you, Damien.
Maeve, what's your school?
I'm at NKO, University of Chicago.
Okay, so one of those University of Chicago charter schools again. Again, I'm just thinking based on you all's complications that the charter schools are just not requiring a background check. Smack on the wrist for them. They should be requiring it just like everybody else. All right. Typically, you all are either partnered with school teachers or counselors, and your work is either going to be on a tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 level. I'll explain those tiers momentarily. Additionally, your work typically boils down to intervention that is academic or it is social emotional based. Now, when you think of social emotional based or SEL based, some people might say it's like behaviors. And that's not all the way accurate, because for social emotional learning, preventative or restorative intervention, we don't want to wait till kids exhibit behaviors. We more so want to say, the data already shows that when kids get effective and what they call it, I would just say effective for right now, social and emotional learning embedded into their academic experience, that their grades increase and just other critical life factors, what they call these 5 core competencies, they get better in all of these critical and important areas. So it's not just kids who are manifesting certain behaviors. And most of the time they're manifesting those behaviors based on certain trauma that they've experienced. That's not just it. It's a sense of, again, you're coming in as an SEL interventionist or an academic interventionist on a tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 level. Now, the question might, you know what? The educator in me says that I can probably pull up this cool grid. Excuse me. If somebody's here is aware and knowledgeable of what MTSS means, can you unmute your mic and just let me know that you know what that's about?
Yeah, so MTSS is the multi-tiered systems of supports. It's normally a plan that's put in place for students before they would go into a formal IEP process. So it's like a collaboration of the family, the student, their teachers, and other important personnel at the school, such as like the counselor, looking at trying to put together a plan that will make the student successful in a specific area that they might be struggling in.
Thank you, Maeve. Ladies and gentlemen, I thought Maddie was the real MVP, and I know I keep switching who the MVP is, but I've just become aware of the fact that Maeve is the MVP, okay? Just in case you all didn't catch that. So tier 1 intervention, academic intervention, SEL intervention, you all, is what they call, it's something that's universal for all students. So quite possibly, you all might be tasked to utilize this Champions curriculum or the Champions program, and implicit in the program is a curriculum, to do some universal tier 1 social and emotional learning lessons and activities with your class. All of you all site supervisors will be aware that you all will be empowered to do that if that's something that can be helpful in your environment. I think a good thing for me to say right now is that part of my job is to protect. Maybe protection is to serve and support y'all. I think that's a better way to put it, because sometimes based off of fatigue or whatever it might be, they'll try to push you into a tier 1 situation, and that's universal. That means whole classroom situation, either to do some academic stuff or some SEL stuff. And the classroom environment and the culture of that classroom and or school, it's not conducive for you as a new person to be super successful with tier 1 intervention. So if and when that's the case, that you are being asked to do something like that, to share something with the class, be it academic, be it SEL, and it feels and seems premature, guess what? It probably is premature. And that's when I come in as an advocate for you, as somebody who's here to serve and support you as you're trying to offer service to that school, to first and foremost talk certain things through with you all. And we're going to do that in our monthly coaching space. We're also going to do that in this separate space that we have to develop so that you all can work towards those 4 hours of oversight and supervision that you need. But when you all meet with me, that's what we show up for. Damien, I've been asked to do this certain thing, and I know that when I do this, or maybe some of you all did it, and you're just not having success because you're being asked to do something whereby the environment is not conducive for you to be successful in that way, right? So those are the things that we process through together. And then in many ways, I haven't had to do this often, but when I need to, that's when I would visit a school. That's when I would call a school, and I would be like, slow down, hold up. Now, tell me again, what was it that you were trying to say? Have Maeve do? No, Maeve is the real MVP. Do not mess with Maeve. Anyway, tier 2. Tier 2, you all see, this is just kind of more targeted intervention. Another way that we could have thought about these things is when you get to tier 2, based on what data is showing, that means that these kids, again, need more targeted supports or services. So this is typically a smaller group. And I see our interns actually asked and empowered to do a lot of tier 2 intervention. Man, these kids just need a little bit more support with English language arts. These kids need a little bit more support with math. Can you just take a small group and do some reinforcement work with them? And some of you all might be like, oh, but math isn't my subject. You typically are going to be in the class during certain lessons. If you need that refresher, I need refreshers sometimes, to the extent that you should not have to worry at all if you're ever asked to do some of that tier 2 academic intervention. Now, remember that your intervention can be twofold. It also can be more SEL based. So if you were trying to do stuff on a tier 1 level, it just wasn't working. Maybe your suggestion might be to that teacher, to that counselor, to that administrator, man, maybe I could just take small groups at different pockets during the day, and I can have conversations with them about things like setting personal goals, learning to manage and track their emotions, to overcome obstacles that they're experiencing during the school day. Somebody unmute your mic and tell us what tier 3 is all about. What do you think? Tier 1, whole classroom, universal. Tier 2, more targeted small groups. What do you think tier 3 is? All right, y'all must don't want no pop quiz at 7:49, so I'll just get to it. Intensive, students at high risk. So if there's some high risk factors based on whatever the data is showing us, this can be behavioral data, academic data, attendance data. Data points can be multifaceted that trigger for a kid to be deemed as high risk or really needing intensive intervention. And then oftentimes, these are those instances whereby you can reach a kid individually, whereby a teacher can't if they're trying to manage 23 other kids. So sometimes you all might be called to also offer support on a tier 3 basis. I think that this MTSS triangle is pretty cool to really help interns to understand 3 levels of intervention that you can support when you are pushing into schools. I want to pause one more time just to see if there are any comments or questions. Can somebody unmute your mic and answer this next question for me, please? Is what I'm sharing with you all, does this feel and sound like it's in alignment with what you all signed up for? I hope it is.
Yes.
All right. The only person that should be a little bit like, what the heck is going on right now, should have been Alexis. But I think we squared that away as well. The rest of you all, this should feel like not only it's in alignment with what you signed up for, but it's just kind of further illuminating to really kind of help you know what your first week and then subsequent weeks might look like in schools. Guess what? I looked and I don't have any more links for you all. So what that means on my end is that I don't feel like I have anything else to say, but I can always find something else to say. So let me say this. I'm going to be sending you all out that email that I promised. Please, you all, at least get me into end of day tomorrow. I am just tired. I'm tired, y'all. I had a full day. I don't feel like sending out an email right now, but I might still do it. It's a simple email. I just don't feel like it right now. So if I don't get it today, give me until tomorrow. Have an all day. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, affirmations is one of the parts that's a part of our work. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to think. The email's coming. The email is going to have you all's supervisors. Y'all saw that part. For those of you all who I was not able to get the background check for you all, I'll work on that. I wrote myself a note to work on that. And I literally don't feel like I have anything else. And guess what? Y'all don't need anything else because you had class and things of that nature. I do have something else. I just knew it. That's why I kept talking. I want to be very transparent with you all. After a while, interns from Adler, y'all don't want to be meeting with me every month. It gets old. But here's the thing. Especially with 69 interns. That's when I last checked, 69 interns. Somebody's going to say, we're not getting our supervisoral, whatever the word is. We're not getting our oversight hours and something's wrong. And when somebody says that, that's going to be a red flag for my whole program. So that being the case, Damian Howard is going to commit to meeting with you all 90 minutes out of a month. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, y'all gonna get tired of me. I don't know what to tell you. Well, I do know what to tell you. At the onset of this, y'all need y'all to show up because there's a lot of stuff we got to navigate. All of it is new. But after a while, if it starts to feel redundant and you don't show up, guess what? I'm not taking attendance. Even when you all do time and track, I'm not looking closely at that. It's the honor system. I'm expecting that you all as adults are putting stuff in time to track that you actually did. So I'm not, no, like it's a trust that I want you all to have with me. It's a trust that I'm going to have with you all. But yeah, if that just starts to get overwhelming, just communicate that to me. Like, Damien, I just don't feel like, we need all of these. And as long as you all don't go and tell and feel like you're not getting all of your hours, this group, we can try to see if we need to flex that 90-minute commitment that y'all have with me. Because in some instances, you might have a site supervisor who read that SJP packet, and even though I'm going to tell them they don't need to meet with you all 4 hours, they're going to find a way, you know what I mean, to like meet with you for 4 or 5 hours out of a month. And it'll just, I'm telling y'all, it's going to get to a point where it's overkill if I'm getting 90 minutes and they're getting all of those minutes with you all as well. So just know that there's flexibility on my end. As far as all of these meetings, I don't want to meet with y'all that much. I don't want to meet as more than what we feel like we have to. But if we have to, let's do it. I hope that you all don't hear me in saying that we're, I probably shouldn't have said I don't want to. I'm willing to, but I just know through experience after a while, it's just like, Damien, we still got to keep meeting every month for 90 minutes. Yeah, we do. Unless we collectively say, okay, we feel like we're at a point where you all are autonomous enough with this that y'all don't need to meet with me as often. That's all I got. Let me be quiet. Any comments or questions on you all's end?
I have one question, more of just like clarification. So I apologize if you're repeating yourself here. But for the Adler intern placement sheet, when do we get this information? Like, because I know you said to fill that out as soon as possible. It talks about like what classroom we're in and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Ashley, I'm so very thankful that you asked that question, because the truth of the matter is that since I went so fast, somebody else probably had that question as well. What I'm saying to you all is the first thing that Damian Howard needs from you all is clarification on what days you're going to be at your placement. And when you go to your placement, what in the world are you doing there? Okay. Ashley, the fact of the matter is, some of you all might be able to get that the first day you go. Some of you all might not get it into week 2 or week 3. It's going to be very specific and very unique to your school. But what I'm trying to tell you all, just so you can anticipate it, is that I'm really going to be pushing to get that information as soon as possible. Ashley, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
No problem.
Hey, Damien, I have a question.
Yes.
So,
Tara, did I say it correctly?
yes. So what's the next step? Like, are we supposed to contact our school? Are we waiting for them to contact us? Like, what's the next move?
Hi, Young. Thank you for that. You all, I just found out that I'm the real MVP. So Tara, let me get to your question. The next step is to read my email that I send you all, because that email is in many ways going to give you firstly access to all of these links that I just told you all about. And then another critical thing, Tara, that's going to be in that email is a script that I'm needing for you to send to your supervisor. So the next step is an actionable item on you all's end. And I'm going to, and I've already actually given it to you, but in that email that I'm going to send you is literally going to tell you for your school placement. And I didn't see anybody who said that their school placement wasn't on that grid with all of the placements and supervisors. So it seems like we're good there. Tara, that will be the next step, to reach out to your school and use the language that I've given you all. Tara, does that make sense?
Yep, thanks.
No problem. No problem at all. Thank you for asking that question. Because if you had it, I'm sure somebody else did. Somebody was going to say something.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay. Artemis.
I received an email. It says we need to send our ID to the volunteer coordinator as soon as possible. Is that the next step, actually?
Yeah, thank you for that, because maybe the next step is 2 steps. Because this follow-up email, Artemis, that I'm going to send to you all, I'm also going to put in that email for you all to, when you email your supervisor, you have to email them your photo ID as well. So again, this follow-up email that I send to you all is just going to give you, hopefully it's going to be super clear as far as exactly everything that you all need to do. And included in that email is going to be where and who you send your ID to. Did that help, Artemis? Did that answer your question for now?
Yes, that helps. But one quick question. I also see the 2021 interns with together. So on that sheet, it has name and the schools and an email address. That's our site coordinator, right? Like supervisor.
You're talking about this sheet?
No, 2021 interns with Together Chicago.
Yeah, what's your school?
Longford Community Academy. That's on 25th, column A.
Yeah, so column D are your lead or site supervisors. Maybe a way that I can just make this more clear. I don't need to have lead site, just site supervisors, so we can be consistent with the language. And if I go back down to column 25, what you would see with Langford are two site supervisors, the assistant principal and the principal. Here are their emails, and this is the school phone number. So this is the information that applies to you. Okay, thank you. Thank you for asking that clarifying question, because that does bring another thing to mind that maybe is not clear. Adler asked me, you all, for every 3 interns in a school, that we need 1 site supervisor. So in some of you all schools, like for instance, a bunch of you all have Doolittle. Guess what? Doolittle has 3 site supervisors. And again, my intent was to make this clear in the email, but since we're talking about it right now, I'll just mention it. So when you reach out to Doolittle, you're going to copy all 3 of these site supervisors, because I don't know which one is your specific site supervisor for right now. So you're just going to copy all 3. What other comments or questions do we have? It is 8 o'clock. Since I'm not hearing any other comments or questions, you all can certainly email or text. I didn't want to be overly responsive to emails or texts before this call, because I knew that I was going to hopefully clarify a lot of things that maybe you all had questions about on this call. Therefore, since we have this, I'm going to give you all this recording, and this follow-up email is even going to further reiterate some of the stuff that we talked about here. I think we're in a good place, at least for you all, to be able to kind of have that next step of clarity, and more so that next step of peace concerning what this placement is all about and who I am as the lead site supervisor over this entire program. So I'm not even going to ask for comments or questions. I gave you all a few opportunities because we are at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to end this meeting for right now. Thank you all so much for your willingness to show up tonight. Look for that email this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. See you.
Thank you.
Bye, you all.